Well, welcome everyone to lesson 4 by Paul and myself on behalf of H2 Photographic Society. This is the last of the basic lessons in Affinity Photo. Hopefully you are starting to use some of the Affinity functions that we've been presenting to you over this last 3 weeks. Paul will be presenting this week's lesson and will be showing you more advanced and techniques and how powerful the software really is. We may not get through the whole of lesson 4 as listed in the production sheet that Paul has produced, but hopefully for future presentations that will be less formal, we will carry on then. I'd like to thank Chris also for putting these lessons on YouTube. Takes a long time to do that, but thank you very much, Chris. Okay, Paul, and it's over to you to give this week's presentation.
Lovely. Let me share my screen. Now, as I say every week, can people see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant. Can they see the agenda for today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Marvellous. And if I click up here on my Affinity Photo menu, can you see all the menu?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's good. So we've got that sorted. Now I've just pushed that down a bit. To get that centered again, you just go Control-0 and up it comes. Right, as Malcolm said, this is what we're going to try and get through today. It's basically to do with the stacking software or algorithms in Affinity Photo. They are pretty powerful, as you will see. These first two are actually in the book, and I'll give you the pages of those as we go along. The single image, I don't think Jeff Yates is with us today, but he mentioned this a couple of lessons ago, so we'll just run through that because that is a very useful thing that both Malcolm and I have found. There's also this stacking fun, which if there's time we'll do, but I think I might just bring perspective correction because it's a little bit more useful to us above that if there's time. So without further ado, let us start with the Hdr Merge in Affinity. Now this is on page 174. I will say that although we're still on the basics, according to the book, this will be a little bit more advanced, but we'll see how we go. I'm just going to have a quick click because I'm not quite au fait. Right, yes, I know where I am. Good. Just going to go back to there. Right, Hdr Merge is amongst all the stacking menu, which is File up here. And then you've got the panoramic stacking system, ... I think I said last week, anything ... means you come up, you're given another option after that. You've got new stack, which we will, if there's time, we'll go through. You've got the Hdr Merge, which certainly a couple of times today we will be using, and I'll show that in a minute. But you've also got this Focus Merge, and now with the latest update, or latest but one update, you've got astrophotography stack. So those are your stacking choices within Affinity. We're going to go with Hdr Merge ... and click on that, and this is the little panel that comes up. HDR is really a way of managing to get images that have got high lighting contrast, getting the whole, so you're getting all the highlight detail and all the shadows into one image. Clever bit of kit. There's lots of software about, but we certainly think Affinity's software is very, very good. Now, once you've got this panel up, there's a little, can people see my my cursor all right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Right, it's
Yeah.
going round and round this little add button. You click on that, and that will take you to your hard drive. And there you navigate to wherever you keep or you have put the images that you have taken to do an HDR merge. And with me, mine is on my, obviously my big hard drive, my Mac hard drive, on the images, Affinity book, HDR. Yours will all be different, as you know. And we're going to have a look at this window image. Now, if I click on these, that image is the first one that was obviously taken. And as you can see, it's been exposed for the highlights. So you can see outside, but all around the edge, you haven't got a lot of detail. So what the photographer has done on a tripod, having their camera on a tripod, I would guess, is have gone through all, well, adjusting their shutter speed, keeping the aperture the same, but adjusting their shutter speed so slowly the, 1 minute, I've had this before. It's a Mac thing. No comment from Chris. So right the way through to that one, which has obviously been exposed for the highlights inside this rather dark workshop, shed, barn, whatever it is. So you have gone from that to what I've just shown you. Now, we have to put all those images into the software. So I click Control A to select all of them, and then down here it's open. And there we are, it has populated this with all those images. If you've put one in by mistake, you just click on one and you click remove and it will take it out. You've then got other options. And now I have to come up here to the top left to explain personas. Personas are on page 17 of the book. And the two that we will be using today are obviously Affinity Photo, but also this one, which is fourth from the left, which is tone mapping. And that applies to this little box here, where it says Tone Map HDR Image. Now on this example, because we are merging the images, we need that ticked. The box here has got perspective in it. Leave it at perspective. I do not know what the other one does, but the book shows perspective. I always keep automatically align images, and I always leave noise reduction. In the book, it says with JPEG images, you can turn that off. It is basically for raw images only, which tells you that you can bring raw images into this software and it will deal with them without you having to go through the raw converter, which is, again, quite a big advantage. But once you've done all those, you then click OK. I'm not going to do it because on my computer, and probably yours, it will take a little while because it has to merge the images, it aligns the images, and then it tone maps the images. and that takes quite a while. So I'm going to cancel that. But what you get when it's done all that is that. So this is your tone mapped HDR merged image. And I will come to these defaults over this side, the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, a bit like if you were in Affinity Photo persona up here, you have a history. You're also given that in this, which is the persona we are in at the moment, which is this tone mapping persona, fourth from the right. That's the persona we're in now. And it gives you loads of options to adjust an image. The most used one that I have found is under this initial one, which is the local contrast. And if you watch the image, as I rack that up, it will become more gritty, more HDR-ish in actual fact. And you can take that as gritty and as moody as you like. I'm not going to run through all those because, as I say, we are a little bit short on time today, but it's well worth you experimenting with. Put your camera on a tripod, take 3 images, one exposed for the highlights, one exposed for the shadows, bring it into this bit of software and just click around, because there are some very interesting bits that you can do with all of this. Now, over and above those, which you would think are enough, you've also got others, which is you've got a navigation pane. So in the same way as with when you're in the photo persona, if I go Command 1, he said, well, we'll try that again. Command 1, yes, there we are. It will take you in to 100%. And then you can use your navigation bar just to move around the image as and when you want to. So you've got that. I'm going to do Command 0 to take myself out again. Overlays, don't know about that. But then also you've got a histogram, which is always useful to keep an eye on that. So those are your options. You've either got your tone mapping adjustments and the rest over there on your tabs. You've got your history. So if you decide you don't like anything, you just run that right the way back. And there we are, it will come back to the original. That's that stuff over there. Now coming to the presets, it always comes up by default, certainly on my computer, with this natural one here. So if I click on that, you won't see any change because that's the one it's on at the moment. Now, if you wanted it a bit more gritty, go to detailed. Come on. Come on. No, why isn't that doing anything? Bear with me. Okay. I don't know why that's not doing it, but it doesn't matter. I will just click that and wait. It might be that my computer has it.
Yeah.
It's gone to it. No, I don't think it has, because what I was going to outline is when you click on detailed, basically what it does is it racks up this local contrast. That's all it does. So yes, that's detailed, but there are others which you can run through. It's not that many under the default. 6, 7. Dramatic sometimes works quite nicely. And yeah, I don't know why it's not working. I think it's probably because I'm zooming at the moment. But anyway, do have a look. Nothing much turns on that. Just the fact that we have got presets. Now, when you first download Affinity, it also comes with some other default presets. Some are extremely extreme, called extreme. Some are crazy. I haven't done these. These should all be on your system. Then I will mention James Ritson's custom ones. Some of those are quite useful. James Ritson is the master of Affinity. And if you click on Affinity's tutorials, invariably they are him doing them. I can see that my computer is rather slow because it's not populating these presets. But as you can see, there's a lot of presets there that you can play around with and experiment with. Not only that, but you can also have your own presets. And I'll just quickly run through how you would do that. So let's assume that you've played around. No, you haven't played around. You have been ever so creative with these tone mapping adjustments here. You've gone into the shadows and highlights and you've adjusted them how you want them. And you think, oh, I like that. But what did I do? I don't think I'll be able to recreate that. Well, you don't need to because you can save it. On the presets panel over here on the left-hand side, you've got a little tiny icon with 4 lines on it and a little arrow. I don't know whether you can see that, but it's there. Click on that and you have to add a preset. So you add, 1 minute, let me just go back.
Create new category.
Create new category, that's it. What I would have done, if I just add the preset, it would have been added to this default one, which wouldn't have been the end of the day, but it's probably best for you to have your own name. So create new category. Oh. No. Bear with. Yeah, no, I think I was right first time. Bear with. We'll delete that. Okay, back to where we were. So on this little icon up here, you add preset. You then put in there, I'm going to put lesson 4, just so it's distinctive from my other ones. And if I now go into the presets list, oh, no. It's gone into the default presets. So that's not what I wanted. So bear with, let's add. Create new category. And then I think it's rename. Yes, so we will name that lesson 4.1 and then click OK. So there it is. It has actually put some of the others in there.
I think you've renamed the default.
Well, I haven't. If you look there, the oh, I see what you mean. Yes, I think you're right. Okay. I will leave it
Can
there.
you undo it?
Yeah, no, I can undo that later, yes. The important part of this is that you have got the ability to put your own adjustments in as your own presets. And perhaps we will have to look at that on a more informal time. Okay, I think that's all I need to do with this. Once you're happy with your whatever you've decided on having, say that one, you click apply. I'm not going to do it because it will take a while and it will take my computer a while. But then what happens is you move again from this tone mapping persona, you will then move to your photo persona, and you can carry on doing what you have learnt in previous lessons in the photo persona. Right, so we will stop there and we will now go back onto the next one, which is removing ghosts. This is quite useful for if you have got moving stuff in. The perfect example is when we've been taking these bluebells on a windy day. And so the bluebells are a little bit blurred and you don't want them to be blurred. Or you've got people moving around and you only want one person to be not moving. So that's where you would get rid of this ghosts business. And again, it's, you go to your file, you go to your Hdr Merge again, and you add the images that you have previously taken, and you go to your hard drive where you have put them. And the image that I'm going to use is one with a beach with waves on, and it's the waves that will be blurred and indistinct. But again, it's been exposed so that you've got highlights well exposed, and then the other image, the shadows are well exposed. So you've got the range of exposures there that you need to get your full range of contrast within one image. And again, Control A to select them all, and then you open them. And again, you will come up with this Hdr Merge panel. And the only difference here is you untick the tone mapping, because this time you don't actually want it to go into tone mapping persona yet. We will come to that. We want to stay in the photo persona. Now again, I'm not going to click OK because of the time scale. I'm going to click cancel. But what you would get then, if I click on the right one, is that comes up. And everything else is sharp, but your bluebells, or in this case, the waves, aren't. They're blurred because you have got however many images that is. That's your HDR image at the top, which we will be HDRing in a minute. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 images that you want to choose the image that's got the sharpest wave on it. So the thing to do, and with this panel, it's quite small, but you've got a little eye down here, bottom left of that panel. So what you do is you click on one of the images and you click on that eye. And if you watch those waves, they will become distinct again. And you can click on another one and click the eye, and you will get the wave as it was taken with that particular image. So choose out of these images, choose the image you want, click on the eye and make sure it is the one you want. And then this is the important bit, you have to unclick the eye. By default, the Affinity has picked up the clone tool. So don't change that tool. That's what you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it over this area where I want it to be sharp. And you can see that it's actually cloning in that image, that sharp wave. And that's all you do. Use your cloning tool to clone over the image that you have chosen to have the sharp bits in it. And once you've done that, then you go back up here and you click your tone mapping persona. And what you will get, I don't know, have I? Yes, I think I have. Bear with me. No. Okay, I don't think I've got that. It's gone somewhere. I did have, in a similar way to I'd done that, I did have one that I'd done, one that I'd prepared earlier in the words of Blue Peter. But what I might do is I might just be brave and click the tone mapping and talk whilst it's doing it. And you will actually see that you will get, as you can see here actually, you will get the same tone mapping adjustments for the new image, but what you have cloned in will remain sharp. So you will get the best of both worlds. You will have a fully HDR'd image with the highlights controlled, the shadows with detail and controlled, but you will also have the ghosts gone, which as far as I know, it's something that's unique to Affinity. I haven't seen that. I've got a couple of HDR softwares on my computer, and I've also tried the rather elderly phone Photoshop one. There we are. It has actually done it now, and so there we are. You've got an HDR image which has used the exposures from all the images, but the wave is sharp. So hopefully that has shown you that. Sorry, it was a bit lumpy, that one.
Anyone's following that, it's on the first edition of the book, it's on page 182. And I think if you've got later versions, it's 184 in the book.
Yes, sorry, I didn't say that. 184. How are we doing for time? Halfway through. Right. On to single image. Again, other than on page 17, where the book tells you about these personas, I don't think there's, it's in the book. It might just make mention here and there, but where it's very, very useful is if you've come home from a shoot and you've got an image that's a little bit underexposed, and underexposure seems to work better than overexposure, But having said that, it's worth trying this because you don't lose anything from trying it. And the advantage is you can do HDR with just one image. It is quicker than the other bit, because if you think about it, the computer has only got to HDR, to tone map the image. It hasn't got lots of images to merge, and it hasn't got to align images. So it is a bit quicker, but again, because of time with this particular lesson, I've done it. But what you do is you get it set up here. Oh, sorry, you open up your image that you want to tone map, and all you do, obviously the image is in your photo persona, is you just click on that tone mapping persona, and the algorithm starts to churr and whir away, and what you get is something like that comes up with the presets, as I've mentioned before, and your ability to be able to adjust it as much as possible. It works sometimes and it doesn't sometimes. I have to say more often than not, it's worked for me, but it's something that is very useful with, as I say, underexposed images. So that really is, it's as simple as that. Any questions thus far? Because I think what we're going to do now is, I think because of the time, we might actually be able to do the fun with stacks next. Any questions on any of that? So we're going to move off HDR merging now. No? Okay. We will try this bit of stacking fun. Now this is on page 216 of your book, and it is useful for getting rid of moving things from an image. So you have to have several pictures of the same subject. Let me bring one up. One minute. So let me just show you. You start again with one of the stacking on your menu, but with this, we're not going to be merging HDRs. We are going to be stacking. So it's new stack ... Very similar box comes up, and with add to it. So you click on that, and again, it gives you a chance to go to your hard drive and you look for your images that you want. And mine are going to be here. And what I've got here is a picture of St. Paul's with converging verticals, I will admit. But as I work through the, oh, it's done that again, 1 minute. I can tell Chris isn't listening to this because he would have made some comment about my Mac by now. Yeah, as you click through, you will see various people have been walking across St. Paul's here. There we are. He or she's moved. So what's been done here is the camera's been on a tripod. You want the same, you want that subject, but you don't want anybody in it, which is probably quite difficult up in London. So this is a way of doing it. So take a number of images. I don't think it matters how many. I've got 5 images here again. No, that's not a good idea to do Command A. Just select those 5 and pop them into your stack. And then leave it as perspective, the same as the other one. Automatically align the images and click OK. Again, because of time, although it does look as though we've got time today, I'm going to cancel that. But what it does is as it chugs away, because you've automatically aligned the image, anything that's not aligned, i.e. the vehicles or the people that are moving, won't actually register on the finished image. And what you get, so I'll cancel that, what you get is this comes up. And as you can see, all those people have gone. If there were vehicles going across here, there wouldn't be any vehicles. Whilst I'm sort of talking back to bluebells, I don't know what would happen, to be honest with you, but it might be worth trying, taking 4 or 5 of the same images of bluebells moving around in the wind. I don't know, it might be better to use the ghosting that I've shown you rather than this, but it might be worth trying this particular, try the new stack with it. It's a matter of experimenting with it. But the nice thing about this, which is a bit of fun, is it comes into a live stack, which you've got this Greek icon here, which allows you to look at what the various images can give you. And if you click down on those, you will see that people come and go, the sky changes. I wouldn't suggest you have that one. But what I quite like is if you go to maximum and minimum, if you clicked on minimum, what you've got is you've got all those people back in again. So again, it gives you a chance to be creative. It's something else that when you're out and about, you can think of, and you know you've got the software at home to create something. So if you don't like that, then you go back and you just click on the median icon and you get an image without anybody or anything moving in it. So again, that is definitely finishing today with the stacking. But as you could see with that was St. Paul's, which was rather converged verticals on it. So to finish today, I will show you how to correct your converging verticals in Affinity. It's a very useful bit of kit. We've moved from St. Paul's to Buckingham Palace here. Yeah, as you can see, it's incredibly converged verticals. But the way you can do this is with this tool down here. On my toolbox, it's the second from the bottom, and it looks like a little mesh. And if you click on the little tiny triangle at the bottom, you've got choice of two. You've got the mesh warp tool and you've got the perspective tool. And the tool we're using for this is the perspective tool. As you're probably getting used to Affinity now, it comes up with another little panel. what you can do with this panel, I always click show grid. The default on my system is don't show the grid. So click on that, and that will give you the right angle grid that will help you to get your perspectives straight. Now, you'll see that you've got a mode box here. And if you click on that, you've got two choices. You've got source and you've got destination. To start with, click on source, because you need to put these lines against the lines that you want to be straight. So once you've got this box up, it gives you the option to just click on these squares in the corners and move the box around. You can bring it down and, right, just bear with, I'm just going to cancel that and pick it up again. Right, so mode is source, and pick it up, and I'm going to bring it over to there, turn the grid on, and you can see that the grid now is as I want it. I want that wall to be upright, and do the same with this one. There we are. As you can see, that one actually is more converged than this one, which you wouldn't know, would you, when you first look at it. I'm just going to bring that down level. Whether that'll make any difference, I don't actually know. Then you go back to the mode, and all you do is you go to destination. And that gives you the opportunity to take this out again. And you just click that where you want it. And once you are happy with that, I'm just bringing that up a bit, because to me, to my eyes, that looks as though that was just foreshortening it, which may well be the case. But given that you've got the power of this perspective tool, let's do it. And once you're happy with that, you can turn the grid off if you want to have a better look, or turn it on again to make sure. But once you're happy with it, you just click apply. And there we are. You've gone from that to that in one quick exercise. That's it, unless there are any, well, we have left a bit of time. Well, we've left a quarter of an hour. Are there any questions that have anybody got about either
Paul,
photo
on
merging?
the one you did before with the beach and the the St Paul's.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, up in the top left. How do you
Yep.
get rid of those? The sky, the clouds are sort of all repeated.
Right. I think the answer is I don't know. Let me just go back.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Could you use the ghost tool, Paul, like you did with
Well,
the wave?
Well, that's why I said it might be worth using that instead of this. For some reason, that is not giving me the stack back again. So Seeing we've got time, 1 minute, we'll have a look. I think whilst we're still recording, are there any questions that I can answer? Let me put it like that.
Oh, sorry, Paul.
No, it's all right, Heather, don't worry. But what we'll do is we'll stop recording and then we'll have a look at that, because it's a good question, but it's not something that I've gone into and practiced. I just wanted to show people the power of these stacking tools in Affinity. If there are no other questions, what I'll do is I will stop sharing and I will stop recording.